Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.
Welcome to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. How's everyone doing out there? Good? That's good. Now, before I get to the recap of the women's basketball over the weekend and the preview of the Big 12 and the AAC tournament on the men's side, let's talk about some NFL free agency first. Okay, now in the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of going back and forth, chit-chatting, signing contracts. Well, actually, signing contracts don't last till tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So everything will be official tomorrow at 3 o'clock. But let me give you the recent signings that have happened over the last 24 to 48 hours. So DK Metcalf goes to the Steelers. Okay. Justin Fields goes to the Jets on a 2-year, $40 million deal with $30 million guarantee. You think about that and you say to yourself, and it's like, why is he getting all that for his career to end in New York? That's your toughest critic. And now he's a starter again and goes on a team that recently just gave up on their 40-year-old quarterback. So let me give you some other ones. You know, DK goes to the Pittsburgh, he goes to the Steelers. You know, who knows? It could be Aaron Rodgers, could be Russ, whoever the quarterback is in Pittsburgh. We should give them an opportunity to do that. The Cowboys recently signed Javonte Williams from Denver. He's a Denver running back on a 1-year deal. So maybe that could be the end of Rico Dowdle, which I think Rico Dowdle should get a 2-year, 3-year type of deal from somebody else. Normally, like Rico had a 1,000-yard season. I thought the Cowboys were very interested in him, but it's like I don't know about Javante's game, but I'm interested to see how this move works. The Cowboys also signed Solomon Thomas, I think. Or is it Solomon Thomas? I think Solomon Thomas, I think it's a 1 to 2-year deal. Marquise Bell resigns with the Cowboys. So basically the Cowboys are trying to be relevant, but it's not the greatest moves of the world. It's not like, okay, we signed this big-time free agent. You could have gone after Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was right there in your hands. Myles Garrett said he wanted out of Cleveland. And what is there in Cleveland that constipates you to win a championship? But he goes back to Cleveland and signs this contract, big, massive contract. And the Cowboys had every asset to go after. See, this is what I talk about, being aggressive right away. You have a guy that played here, that is from here, has a house here, and then you don't trade for him. You could trade 2 first-rounders. You could trade this year's round and the next round to get Myles Garrett. Just how special Myles Garrett is. You have a quarterback. You have a wide receiver. You have a little bit of a defense. You can help Micah Parsons a little bit. Now, Micah sees Myles Garrett get that money. What has happened to Micah Parsons? What type of contract will he get? And so that remains to be seen. The Colts signed Daniel Jones on a year, $14 million deal. So he's competing with Anthony Richardson for the starting quarterback job, which the job should go to Richardson, which I hope he's getting into game shape, because if he's getting into game shape, we can see the best out of Anthony Richardson. I don't think Daniel Jones is that great. I just think he's just trying to look for a team just to be relevant. So, but Anthony Richardson should be able to get that team up here. We'll see. But I'm very interested in what the Commanders have done. So the Commanders recently re-signed Zach Ertz. Now Zach Ertz was heading into retirement. Not sure why Zach Ertz decides to go to the Commanders. Do you want to win a championship? Do you think that the championship's in Washington? I don't think it is. I think the NFC East is in Washington, but I don't think a championship is there yet. And then you go out, you get offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil, who is a 3-time Pro Bowl player, basically protecting JD's blind side. So they're aggressively making moves to improve their football team. They said NFC East, NFC, the title game is not enough. We want to go further. Well, again, like I said last week, and I'm going to continue to say this, you got to go through us. You got to go to the Cowboys, even though we we haven't made moves, productive moves, great moves. You still got to go through us. So I hope that these players find a way to make amends in wherever they're at, because because you never know. All right, let's talk about the women's game. Now, the women's basketball tournament ended this past Sunday. We got exciting things happening on this sporting event. So we need to start with number one. You need to bring up the graphic of TCU winning the championship. TCU beats Baylor 64-59. Haley Van Lith, the most outstanding player, scored 20 points. Now, the negative side is the team had 20 turnovers. Okay. Also, Haley Van Lith is one of the best players I ever seen in my life. The way she's able to create, the way she's able to know her defenders, the way she's able to go ISO on her person to take them one-on-one to the basket, to creation the shot, the way she works with her teammates. So Donna Prince, Master Connor, just being the ultimate team player at this point in your career, at this point in your lifetime, knowing that the odds were against you when you went to LSU. Last season at LSU, you were on a team was Angel Reese, Anisha Morrison, Michaela Williams, great players, but they're not but you can't, when you're on a superstar team, you know that there's egos involved. Haley wasn't getting any recommendation going to LSU, but she did get a lot at Louisville. She's gone to the tournament. She's gone to the Final Four. She knows what this is all about. She goes to TCU and makes an immediate impact. Now, I said this in the summer. So I said at the time, Haley Van Lith was playing in the 3-on-3 Olympic tournament. Everybody was raving about her game except for me. I just felt like at the time, Haley wasn't that great. So between the summer and now, I have changed my opinion on this. So let's play the clip of what I said in the summer, please. Haley Van Lith, to me, is not ready for the WNBA. Not necessarily her saying that she was sick, but her game overall says, I'm not ready for the WNBA. So basically, I had it wrong. Okay. I think Haley's ready for the WNBA. I'm saying this on March the 11th. That was played last summer. I'm saying it now because what I've seen between this season and now, the way she's been able to take a team that finished last season, had all the issues as far as players hurt. You know, they had a tryout during the season last season, and now you go out and get a Haley Van Lith, and then you say Haley to TCU. I'm like, what? What does TCU have that somebody else doesn't? Haley could have gone to South Carolina. Haley could have gone to Texas. Haley could have gone to UConn. But she goes to TCU. And I'm like, what does TCU have that LSU and others didn't? What did TCU saw in Haley Live that LSU didn't? And now Haley's ready for the WNBA. I remember somebody saying during the season that Paige will go number 1, Haley goes number 2. And I'm like, Haley's not the second pick in the draft. Haley's not even in the top 10. And I'm saying this right now. Haley's in the late second, third round at best. I'll show you my draft board. I will show you that Haley deserves to be in the WNBA. The scouts don't go to TCU. The scouts go to LSU, South Carolina, and Texas, the bigger schools. TCU's not a big school. They don't go there. They don't go to TCU. They can't even go to North Texas. They can't even go to Duke. Duke has been prominent. And so, however, Haley's there. Haley's in the WNBA draft. She's right there. And I understand that teams out there are looking past Haley Van Lith. Let me tell y'all something about this draft. We're going to have a stunning draft. It's going to be fabulous. But let me tell you something about this one. Do you realize last season that, if I can remember the team correctly, the Las Vegas Aces drafted a player out of an HBCU school? And I understand that they don't get recognition. The women's basketball HBCU is not that attractive. Okay? To people out there. To me, I mean, I look at it and I said, okay, it's great. It needs to be shown on TV more often. But yet, today's media, they show the bigger schools in like South Carolina. That's fine. That's fine. But at an HBCU school, the last person in the draft will be drafted. But I haven't seen anybody emerge in the draft on an HBCU team. I haven't been paying attention to HBCU schools. But that's what they're going to draft, to make a statement that say we care about the HBCU schools, this and that. But again, then it's not, why am I choosing a player from an HBCU school over a player that has experience here but has the one-on-one game there? If Haley does not, I'm saying this because if Haley does not get drafted, it's a mistake that she has to fight to get drafted. She shouldn't have to fight anymore. Her name's cemented for long periods of time. Her name will go in the record book forever as being one of the best college players of all time. at TCU, not like in the NCAA. Now, the TCU praise again. So Haley Van goes from Louisville to LSU to TCU. Mark Campbell goes from Sacramento State to TCU. The challenge was trying to find winners, trying to find that connect. So Donna Prince, 3 to 4 years ago, during the pandemic, remember her team, Oregon, made the tournament. She posted a picture on TikTok, like in the hotel, talking about we need to upgrade our weights. This is from 4 years ago. She said this. But you get out of that situation, you go to TCU, you make an immediate impact on your draft stock. Now, your draft stock has gone down in recent weeks because of the case that was dropped. Because teams are afraid of that. But yet, you are a franchise player. You are, if you get drafted by the Washington Mystics right now, do you realize that you're replacing a legend and El Deladon? Your game will be a lot better than hers. I'm not putting no disrespect towards El Deladon, but your game's better than hers. If you get drafted in Washington, and she'll be 25 this summer, halfway to 30, right? And then Agnes Mnoku, Agnes didn't have to go play basketball at TCU. Agnes has already had a career set up. She's already had her career. They have said she has graduated in 3 years from a neuroscience degree. I think something like that. She don't have to play basketball. She don't have to go do another season of this. She could have been in her career already. But no, she's like, I'm doing this for the team. Doors will open it when you have that type of mindset. And then the goal is to not only you made the NCAA tournament, we look at the bracket right now from Charlie Cream from ESPN. They have them as a 3 seed. If you pull up the bracket right now, leave the bracket on the screen when I'm talking, please. When TCU's hosting a home game in Fort Worth. Now, if it's on Friday, I we'll see. But I'm looking at this bracket right now. This is Charlie Cream. Charlie Cream moved TCU to number 2. So now, if the bracket happened today, TCU plays Southeast Louisiana. I don't know anything about Southeast Louisiana. I know a guy back in the day that went to Southeast Louisiana. That was in 2006, 2007. Whatever. I don't know them. That's predictions. But I know TCU's hosting a home game. So just imagine the electricity in Fort Worth for this one. For this bracket only. And the number 1 seed in that bracket is South Carolina. So I'm not saying that TCU is going to play against South Carolina again. You take it one game at a time. You make this moment happen for TCU. This is rare. This is a rare company that TCU's in. So he has it as a number 2 seed. It looks attractive enough for TCU. I'm not saying they're going to play against Southeast Louisiana, but that's his prediction. So we'll see what happens. We'll see when the final bracket comes out on March the 16th, and I will have an announcement on that in the next few minutes about that. So congratulations to TCU for winning the Big 12 championship. This is their first conference championship since 2005 when they won the Conference USA. Number 2, the Big Ten championship. UCLA beats USC 72-67. This is the third time they have played. UCLA finally gets to USC and Juju Watkins. Remember what I said? Juju Watkins is the only player on the USC squad. Okay, let's talk about UCLA first. I was angry last week because UCLA again lost to USC last week. And I said UCLA has the balls to beat USC. They're physical. They know how to guard Juju Watkins, one of the best teams in the league that knows how to guard Juju Watkins. Not necessary outside of that, you're not guarding anybody else. USC added Kiki Ifrangwe. This is from the girl. This is a big girl from Stanford. They added her. She has not made an impact in this turn. She did not make an impact in the conference tournament. Why? In this game, she dealt with foul trouble. Every game that Kiki plays in the NCAA tournament, she's dealing with foul trouble. That's the knock. If I'm looking at a team right now, she can't move her feet. She doesn't know where to be defensively. She can score the basketball when she's in the game, but when she's not, it puts USC in shambles. And now Juju has to play one-on-one to get her shots going. And fools on the internet that I'm a part, I'm kind of a part of, and I'm calling this group out on Facebook. So this person runs WNBA fan group page, right? And he talked about Juju not getting the job done. There's other people that made comments as well, but let me defend Juju here. Juju did her job. I know I'm switching gears to UCLA. I'll get back to the UCLA in a second. But Juju did her job. The media does not talk about Juju for all 2 to 3 hours that Caitlin Clark got last season. Caitlin Clark got more than 3 hours. Caitlin Clark was on ABC Good Morning America being talked about. Why does it Juju get? Juju led a one-woman team. She is USC. It's not Lindsay Goldtraub. It's not Kiki. It's Juju Watkins. And Juju is the best player that we have ever seen. She's better than Caitlin Clark in college. And I'm saying that right now. And you are my witness. Juju is the best, is better than Caitlin Clark. She can't do it alone. She had 29 points and 6 rebounds. She can't do it alone. UCLA, I put a boxing one to knock her off the game. Juju was fatigued. Do you know that UCLA had everybody coming towards Juju? They didn't care about anybody else. Kiki was out of the game with foul trouble, and then who else is going to beat you outside of Juju and Kiki? This is the problem that USC will have in the tournament. They can't get to the Elite Eight this way. You got to have somebody else. Kiki's got to be able to stay in the game. Do you realize your stock has gone down, Kiki, when it comes to the draft? Your stock has gone down because you're not on the court. You got to be on the court. You can't play these games like this. That's the Achilles heel for USC. I'm telling you, not one person will take you to the Final Four. I can't. If anybody says USC should be in the Final Four, they should be fired. They should be fired. I don't have them in the Final Four. I'll have somebody else that can give me 3 players Two got to be elite. One player's got to play the roles, and everybody else got to play the role behind it. USC does not have that. They have Juju Watkins. And I'm pretty sure Juju Watkins will get help next season because they have somebody else, 5-star player, coming in, and we'll see what happens. But they had 19 turnovers. And those fools that say that Juju could have done enough, what do you want Juju to do? This woman had 30 points. This woman was double teamed and still got the shots off. Do you not see that she was tired? You want one person to take over the game? What are y'all talking about? What do you want more from Juju to do against a team that was physical, a team that took everything away from South Carolina back in November, a team that said, you know what, we got it out tough, according to their coach. I don't know what out tough means. It's not even in the dictionary. You just added words now. Their coach challenged to go after Juju, and they did. They did. Nobody's making a shot outside of Juju in this tournament. No one. Not one person is going to lead your franchise. You got to have some help. Kiki's not helping. Somebody else has got to step up. Juju can only do so much. I'm pretty sure Juju's in the chamber every single minute, because she knows she's got it. The pressure's on her to lead, and she's done a great job. When you have a superstar player that you're in a one-woman show, in this case, you're doing everything you can to be available for your team. You taking extra precautions. Juju, I'm pretty sure, is taking extra precautions to not be in that situation again. Meaning that she anytime she gets off the court, she's drinking a bunch of fluids. She's the game's over or practice is over. Not only she's getting extra shots in practice, but she's in the chamber trying to get healthy because she's a one-woman show. If she goes down, there's no other team. The team's out. The team's out. If she goes down, and I'm not wishing that Juju goes down, then it's over for USC's chances of making it to the Final Four. And I don't have them in the Final Four right now. Not one person is going to do it. Juju can't do it alone. You need Kiki. How can you be the second pick in the draft, or even in the top 10 for that matter, when you haven't been on the court for more than 20 minutes? That's Kiki. I just don't see it. But UCLA did a fabulous job. Do you know how to defend Lauren Betts? Lauren Betts, again, in the top 5, took the ultimate risk to not only win the Big Ten championship, but to stay there once more. If we're looking at the bracket again, put the bracket on the screen, please, again. If we're looking at the bracket again, I'm looking at UCLA. UCLA is number 1, and they're obviously, this is according to Charlie Cream again. UCLA is number 1. Freddie Dickinson's that opponent. So we'll see. He also, which is very surprising. I'll talk about that surprise in a second. But UCLA is on a mission. And again, I'll get to my picks in a second and next week. But UCLA is that team, and if they find a way to stay out of foul trouble, UCLA's got this. Number 3, ACC championship. Now, we don't have Notre Dame in this championship. I was very surprised. Well, I'm not surprised because Notre Dame, they're heading to the tournament with no confidence. A couple of weeks ago, we thought this was a number 1 seed team in Notre Dame. We thought it was, and then all of a sudden, it's like Notre Dame's the number 1 team. No, it's like they lost to L3, they lost to Florida State, they lost to NC State, they lost to Duke. And so now Duke plays NC State, and Duke beats NC State 76-62. Duke is going to be one of those surprise teams in the women's tournament. And I think Duke has the number. I think Duke has the number. I think he put him on the 2 seed. It was the 3 seed for Duke. Yeah, it's the 3 seed for. I'm trying to find it. If I can find it. Yeah. Nope. Can't find. Oh, Duke. They had the 3 seed for Duke in the NCAA tournament, and so Duke is small, but they get the job done with a small ball play. Kara Lawson has instilled discipline in this team. They'll go as far as they take them, and so with this, we're going to see Duke make some noises. This is their 9th ACC title since 2013. And can they really make a run in the NCAA tournament? So let's play Kara Lawson clip. Now, Kara Lawson, you guys don't know. You know Don Staley, you know Vic Schaefer, you know Gino. You don't know Kara Lawson until you hear this. We need more Kara Lawsons in this world. So let's play a clip from Kara Lawson, please.
Because if you're around what's real and true, you can spot a fake a mile away. If you're around fake all the time, you can't tell the difference between this type of fake or that type of fake. Can't do it. It's not possible. Right? Not possible. No. This is true. If you're around real all the time, you can spot fakes easily. And if you're around fakes all the time, you don't know which way they're coming from. You get fooled. Stay in the real. Stay in the real. What you know is real and what you know is true. And you will be able to spot fakes. If not, you'll be lost. All right, here we go. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3.
So you heard from Kara Lawson. That's the introduction to Kara Lawson. Now, NC State is going to obviously be in the tournament. Okay. Azra James, when she went out of the game in the close to halftime. So here's the thing. She was dealing with a hip pointer. They carried her off the court and had to be wheeled off the court. So, actually wheeled to the locker room, which was scary because I was like, okay, there's no way she can't be that hurt. And I was praying when I saw that. She came back in the second half and played, and it was still bothering her, but she played well. And thank God for this is the way to last a week and a half, because in a week and a half, she'll get a break. And she'll be able to, stretch that hip out, and she'll be ready to go. And so, but let me say this about NC State. Azra James and Sanaya Rivers are 2 of the best guards duos in the game. When they're gone, NC State has to start over again. Both players are WNBA material. That's why I said the draft is going to be great, because you got those two that can make immediate impact on the game. Azra James is going to be a 2 guard in the WNBA that can come on screens and hit threes. I'm sorry. So I'm saying that for scenarios. Azra James is going to be the main point guard. I honestly think she's going to be a leader one day. I honestly think this is going to be a long-term career for her. You know, I think that she's going to be one of the best point guards in the game. 2 to 3 years from now, she'll be one of the best point guards in the game in the WNBA if she stays with it. But those two players will take NC State to where as far as they go. They went to the Final Four last season, surprisingly. Okay, and then, but this season they beat they beat Notre Dame. But they came close in this game against Duke. Even though they lost to Duke, I still think NC State has, in women's basketball, still has something to prove. Now, I didn't want to get to Mint early, but I said, let me talk about Kevin Keatts a little bit. Now, Kevin Keatts is the former head coach at NC State. He got fired on Sunday, okay? This is a year that this man took a bunch of random dudes to the Final Four last season. Do you remember DJ Stewart? They were comparing him to Robert Tractor Trailer in college. Rest in peace. God rest his soul to Robert Tractor Taylor. They were also comparing him to Odell Harrington. Do you remember him? DJ Stewart is in the G League, and I hope he's making an impact in the G League or wherever he's at right now. He made a name for himself. Kevin Keatts made a name for himself at NC State. He got fired because NC State wasn't having a great season. It frustrates me because you have that success at one school, and then the one season that you had was your best season, that you go to the NCAA tournament and you lose it, and you're basing it off this season. And I'm like, why? Why? Give him a chance. Give him a chance to go find the players out there, recruit them, bring them on, and then move on with your day. Not everything is going to be practice, repeat. Not everything. For him to get fired, that's crazy. And now this man should get offers after offers after offers from any school that wants him right now. It can be the small school out there, and they'll have Kevin Keatts, his name on the list. That's how good he is. That's how good Kevin Keatts can take a team. Guys that have no NBA talent, to take them to the Final Four and face a tall Purdue team, they had a chance. And now Kevin Keatts is no longer there because of what happened this season. It's ridiculous. It's how the games are. It's how colleges are changing right now. Number 4, let's talk about the SEC championship. Speaking of South Carolina, they beat Texas 64 to 45. Now Taylor Jones had 14 points. Madison Booker had only 12 points. Madison Booker has to grow up. Madison Booker, listen. Texas is going to be. This is their run to lose. If they don't make this run, then I don't know what to do with Texas. Texas has a team. Texas has 2 bigs in Taylor Jones and Kayla Odekar. Texas has Roy Harmon that wills them to victory, controls the offense. Rory will play 40-plus minutes in this tournament. That against good teams, not against the mediocre teams that Texas will get. Against good teams. After the first round, you're going to see Rory Harmon's minutes go up. When I was watching that game, I was yelling for her, get back in the game because South Carolina is on a run and you will not get back. You will not come back from that. So anytime Rory's out of the game, the Texas offense strutters. It's shut down. It's not really good when she's out of the game. Texas right now has the number 1 seed. So right now, that's according to Charlie Creen's projections. And so they have to grow up. As far as South Carolina goes, congratulations to them. Chloe Kitts had 15 points and 9 rebounds. I'm pretty sure she was the most outstanding player. They got a complete team. Chloe Kitts, Sanaya Fagan, Melisha Fulwiley, Raven Johnson, Bree Hall, Tess Johnson. They got it all. They got it all. They got 10 McDonald's All-Americans, according to Kenny Brooks. Okay, Kenny, first of all, you can't change the player's decision of where they're supposed to go. Don's lady knows how to recruit. Her staff knows how to recruit. You got to give them praise. You lost. You were in that game. You lost by 12. You see teams out there lose by 30 to South Carolina. Your team, Kentucky, lost by 12. That should be a blessing in itself. You lost by 12, Kenny. I'm not saying you should be happy about that. What I'm saying is that you should learn from the best. Dawn Staley knows how to recruit. Period. Joyce Edwards, another McDonald's All-American. She knows it. They have it. South Carolina has 11 great players. You may stop 8 of their 11 players. They got it all. They learned from that UCLA and UConn losses. I'm not worried about the Texas loss. But they learned from those losses. They said, we got to be ready. We got to change our physicality. And that's what South Carolina did. Now, it was a scare in the second round. Well, actually, the quarterfinals, The quarterfinals, because Oklahoma wasn't a scare at all. Oklahoma's a good basketball team. But before that, against Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt has South Carolina. South Carolina was up by 25 that game. Vanderbilt cuts it down to 5 with under 5 minutes left. Okay? You talk about Vanderbilt finding their offense in the fourth quarter. They found it. But what they failed to realize is that it's South Carolina. South Carolina can make runs at any time in the game. But that 21-point loss that people have saw, if you watched the whole entire game, you didn't really like. You could praise Vanderbilt for playing hard, playing tough. And now we think of Vanderbilt women's basketball team as one of the best in the tournament. I said one of the best, not the best, but one of the best. They can make, they know their team. They can make changes. They can do everything they can. And so South Carolina is ready for this moment. Not sure why that other people are jealous. Kenny, you're black. You shouldn't be jealous of another black person's success. You learn from it. You move on. You recruit. you move on. And by the way, March 25th is a special day. Not only that I'll be up here all day long, but I'll be on another podcast and all that stuff on March 25th. March 25th is actually the day that Alicia, or I think it's her name is, what's her name? Alicia Cortez or Anaya Cortez makes her announcement of where she's going to go. She's got Texas, she's got South Carolina, among others. She's from the Lubbock area. She can even possibly go to Texas Tech, and she'll probably be, if she goes to Texas Tech, she'll probably be the best player Texas Tech has ever had since Cheryl Swoops. And that's way back in the 90s. I'm pretty sure this generation wasn't born in the 90s. They were not born in the 90s. They didn't see Cheryl Swoops play. So I'm not saying that she'll go to Texas Tech. What I'm saying is that day will be the biggest day ever. So could be South Carolina. Who knows? Number 5. The ACC Championship semifinals. Okay, this is North Texas women's basketball. We always got to talk about it. North Texas beat East Carolina that last night, 69-58. Amaya Johnson, My Johnson, what they call her, she had their 18 points and 13 rebounds. I wish her nothing but the best. She picked up a technical foul in the fourth quarter. Okay, this was a close game. You know, it was like a close. I think it was like. She picked it up when it was a 4-point game. North Texas was leading at the time. I wish her nothing but the best. Whatever she goes and does in her personal life, I wish her nothing but the best. But that really changed. That really finished the game for North Texas. Tamisha Lampkin had 15 points and 12 rebounds. Jayden Talley came off the bench and had 13 points. She had her best game. Jayden Talley, the junior forward, had her best game of the season last night. And so now there's a concern. The concern is that Nia Johnson, the defensive player of the year in the AAC, sprained her ankle. I don't think it's serious enough that she's going to miss the game. I haven't had any word as of right now. But I do think that she'll play tonight. I think the ankle's going to be a little sore. It's going to be a little tender. I'm pretty sure they're getting treatment right now. But she's going to play tonight against South Florida because this is important. This is important. This is really important that North Texas gets this game against tonight because you're facing a South Florida team that you have tied 1-1. You split the regular season. North Texas won at their house. South Carolina won at their house. South Florida used a 12-0 run in the fourth quarter to win the game, and that at their place on February the 1st. And so, but North Texas won this game. They were up double digits at their house. They only won this game, won at North Texas by 7 points. That's North Texas. South Florida won their game at South Florida by 7 points. South Florida has like 4 or 5 players that can really shoot the basketball. You got to get out to them. They're coached by one of the best in the AAC. Long-time coach. Anytime you had 20-plus years coaching college basketball, you're considered one of the best. Because you've been through it. You know the type of players that you want. South Florida knows that. Now, I'm not saying North Texas doesn't. North Texas knows that as well. North Texas has a chip on their shoulder tonight. You know, before I talk about that, you know what surprised me? It actually didn't surprise me yesterday. Do you know that the regular season champs, UTSA, is no longer there? Do you realize that this team, UTSA, won the regular season title, and they're no longer in the quarterfinals. They're not even playing tonight. They lost to Rice. This is Rice's time, according to them. Now, I told y'all 2 weeks ago that if North Texas, it's got to be NCAA or bust. I told y'all that 2 weeks ago. But it is surprising me that Rice came out in the Woodworks and beat UTSA last night. So UTSA is no longer there. This is the regular season champs that beat North Texas in the regular season. So enough of that. Anyways, back to North Texas. They got to bring their best defensive performance, the same one from last night. Okay? Lampkin has to adapt. South Florida is going to crowd the paint. They're going to crowd the paint. South Florida is going to crowd the paint. Okay? They're not going to make it easy for Lampkin. Also, I told you that South Florida is an experienced team. By their head coach who's been there for 20-plus seasons. Their players. I mean, I'm not saying their players are better than ours, but we need a Jalen Talley tonight. I'm saying this right now. You had 13 points against East Carolina. We need you tonight because Anaya may not go. We'll see, we'll see by game time. The game starts at 8:00. So you play that game at 6:00. You got hurt. You should have enough time to get treatment. You should have enough time to be ready to play. 8:00 game on ESPN Plus, and then we'll see what happens. Number 6, my final take. The Big East final. UConn beats Creighton 70-50. Wasn't even close at all. Paige Becker scored 24 points and 8 rebounds. This is their 30th conference championship win. The NCAA tournament. I want to see what UConn does in the NCAA tournament. I think the last few years proves me that we got other teams that are better than UConn. I'm not sure. This was interesting yesterday that I saw the final rankings yesterday, and I said that UConn. They had UConn as the number 3 team. They also had TCU as number 6. This is the final rankings for the regular season. They had South Carolina over UConn as the number 2 seed, even though UConn beat South Carolina by almost 30 points. And so it's confusing to me that the committee has said we favor South Carolina over UConn, even though UConn has the physicality to match up with South Carolina. I'm not saying they'll play against each other, but I'm saying that UConn is more physical than South Carolina is. That's your kryptonite. Physicality is what South Carolina doesn't do. And so it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that South Carolina is over UConn, but they can use that as their motivation. And I expect a long run for UConn. I'm not saying they'll win it, but I expect a long run for UConn. Now, put the tournament stuff on my screen, please. I want to talk about this in full detail because we need to give some praise. Women's. The final take. Now, TCU won this championship. I'm disappointed in Sarah Andrews. Sarah Andrews is from this area in Irving, which is 5 minutes from Bedford. I'm very disappointed. I mean, I thought Sarah Andrews will be a little bit better than this, but I guess she wasn't. TCU has every right to represent the city of Fort Worth. Everybody, whether you didn't go to TCU or not, should be at the city of Fort Worth. Should be at this city right now. Should be trying to get tickets to go see this team play in Fort Worth, TCU. But again, we'll see where they see that. UCLA. UCLA is the number 1 seed. Can UCLA make a run? Number 3, Duke. We need to give a praise not only to Kara Lawson, but Kyra Early. Now, Kyla Early, I think, or Kylie Early, she's a former Kentucky player. Gets fired at Kentucky, but goes to Duke and wins a championship at Duke. Kara Lawson takes her in. Gets fired at Kentucky, but Kara Lawson takes her in and says, we're going to win a championship because of you. That's amazing. South Carolina wins the SEC. Let me tell you something. South Carolina, I told y'all, they have 11 great players. 8 of them you can stop. But let me tell you about Bree Hall. I know many people don't have her on the draft boards. But Bree Hall can play basketball. Bree Hall gets so lost in the rotation that we're relying more on Chloe Kitts and Malaysia Fawali and Joyce Edwards. Don't forget about Bree Hall. Bree Hall is one of the best defenders in the game. Not better than Raven Johnson or Tahi Popout, which, again, South Carolina has 11 great players. Or maybe you could say 12. But the WNBA shouldn't be sleeping on Bree Hall. And I'm pretty sure Bree Hall can go to any camp she's invited to and make an impact. See, this is why. This is why you open the doors for more teams in the WNBA. You also, in the Unrivaled League, you open more doors and open more rosters for players that don't get drafted or don't get picked up by other teams, not just WNBA players. But Bree Hall is a WNBA player. North Texas. This is it. You have nothing to lose for. Charlie Cream has y'all in the NCAA tournament. I'm not looking past that, but I'm not looking past tonight. But like I said before, it's NCAA tournament or bust. We're not celebrating an NIT appearance or CBI because, again, nobody cares about that. But they have you as a 14 seed against LSU. Now, at LSU, they told Anisha Morrow. They told her when she injured her ankle against Texas, they told her that you cannot come back. They told her that you got to sit out, and we also got bigger fish to fry. What is there to fry? What is there to fry? If a trainer is telling you that, that's crazy. Do you know the type of season y'all had? Do you know that y'all lost to Texas twice? You can't even beat South Carolina? I mean, damn. People don't have you in the championship conversation. That's a bigger fish to fry. If you have a good team, then yes. You have an argument. But if a trainer's telling me that, no, hell no. Get my ankle done. Let's get back in the game. That's a bigger fish to fry. The SEC's championship is the bigger fish to fry. We don't even know what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. If you stop short, what's going to be the conversation then? I hope she doesn't look back at this and say, you know what? I could have gone back in the game and helped my teammates out. I hope not. And North Texas, this is it. Make or break. This is it. This is the game that was set off many venues. And UConn. Let's see what happens. Paige, you got to come through, girl. You got to come through. You got to be the number one. You got to be the best player in the tournament to not only cement your legacy, but to cement the number one pick. Because I'm going back and forth between Olivia Miles and you. Right now, I have you as the number one pick. Don't let me be an idiot and come here and show the producer my draft pick because he'll laugh at me. But don't embarrass me or embarrass your team. Now, we'll break down the NCAA tournament on the women's side next week. Now, let's get to now switch gears, turn that screen off, and let's go to the men's basketball tournament. Bring on the AAC, please, the American Athletic Conference men's side tournament, please, if I have that. So, let's talk about the regular season champs. Memphis, number one. They won the AAC regular season title. They're coached by Penny Hardaway. The ultimate strength, they have all NBA talent. PJ Hadidi and Tyrese Hunter are NBA talent. Now Tyrese Hunter has this is his third school. He started at Texas, didn't work out there. He went to Iowa State, didn't work out there. Then goes to Memphis. Well, we'll see. We're seeing a trend. We're seeing what happens. So they like to go 1-2-2. They like to go 2-3 press. They're well put together. They can accept challenges. This is coming from their head coach, and they've been ranked all season. Turnovers and poor shot selections are their weaknesses. Again, when you have teams, you have a quality team that they're bound to make plays on their own, and meaning that they're bound to make mistakes to turn the ball over, and so they take poor shots. So many people have Memphis winning this whole entire tournament, but there's like three other teams that can be better than that. Number two, North Texas. North Texas, their defense is their calling. People don't like the way North Texas plays the game, but is attractive because North Texas has held dirty shot clock violations. Dirty shot clock violations in the regular season. Their defense is their calling. They're again, their offense is just Antel Wright and Brennan Moore, who comes off the bench. Sissoko has one good game with 27 points, but that was a couple weeks ago. You got to do that consistently. Again, Ross Hodge is a coaching legend. I expect Ross to coach his butt off. The weaknesses is a slow half-court offense. Again, nobody likes North Texas because of their slow half-court offense. They don't like to run a lot. They don't like getting fast break points. They don't rebound the ball well, and they don't have depth. It's just three players that comes off the bench, including Brandon Lauren. It works for them. It works for them. But I see every team go from 4 to 5 guys off the bench. They know their team. North Texas knows their team. And then they score under 70 points a game. So, you face a team against Memphis or you face a team against a Temple that they lost to, then you're bound to give up points. I'm not worried about where North Texas. Well, I am worried because this is a make or break season for North Texas. Can they make the NCAA tournament? Again, I haven't looked at the men's side because I want to really focus on the women's side. And I haven't looked at the men's side. I'm not looking at it ahead yet. I know this tournament starts today. Well, actually starts tomorrow. And so, but North Texas does not play the Friday. So I want them to come out and be efficient. They need somebody else to handle the scoring. Sissoko, we're not going to get it from Rondell Walker. Rondell Walker, the heart and soul of the team is their defense. I mean, Rondell Walker, to his credit, is going to have a great career, whatever he decides to do. I just think basketball's not it. Grant Newell can jump. Grant Newell reminds me of my former teammate Jacob Holman, but Grant has the better outside game than Jacob does, and I know this because I know this because I've seen Jacob shoot. I seen it firsthand. Grant has a better jump shot than Jacob, but if I'm talking about hops, I think Jacob has the better hops than Grant does. Again, I had to box him out. I had to go against him every practice, and I held my own. And so, North Texas is the second favorite in this conference to win it. The third one's UAB. UAB, their strength is Yanel Langenberg. He's an NBA prospect. He's averaged 17 points a game, 10.5 rebounds, 54% shooting. And Andy Kennedy is experienced in this situation and quicknesses, and they got a good low post game. Their weaknesses is foul trouble. They're very last days ago. North Texas has their number, and then they're selfish. So I'm not saying UAB can win this, but it's not. But if North Texas ever faces them, I always choose North Texas over UAB every single time. Tulane, their strength is their shooting. They shot as a team. They averaged 75 points a game. They shot 45% from the field and 34% from 3-point range. Roy Brumbog averages 16 points a game. They're coached by Ron Hunter and his son. His son, RJ Hunter, he was the star of the 2013 tournament. They got good ball movement. However, they got no defense. They lack rebounding. They don't have size down there. North Texas again has their number. They got no known players. We don't know their players. They know their team, and they got a chip on their shoulder because again, we're going for North Texas, Memphis, and UAB. The dark horses would be Temple. Temple beat North Texas. Temple has physicality and lanky, but however, they got no depth. So when I mean no depth, when I say it's like when someone gets into foul trouble, they got to put the player in, and the player is supposed to make an immediate impact. Some players do, some players don't. And then FAU. Now, they don't have Dusty May and the same FAU team that went to the Final Four 2023. They don't have that anymore. They got a new team. They got a great ball movement, and they got different guys scoring. However, North Texas has their number, and we don't know their team. Their team could be good. Their team could be bad. We just don't know. But again, it's the good thing about this tournament is that there's no bad team. Everybody starts at 0-0, and we fight until we get our own. We fight until somebody's holding that championship trophy. Bring the Big 12 picture, please. So we're talking about the Big 12. So honestly, my favorite for North Texas is I have North Texas winning this tournament. I feel like they could beat Memphis. But I have North Texas win this tournament because I feel like North Texas, their defenses they're calling, they against Memphis, they They lost by 4 points, but it was just because of poor shooting. And North Texas finds a way to shoot 45%. Finds a way to shoot 40%. I'm not saying 45, 40%. Then I think they could beat Memphis. Bring the Big 12 picture, please. Well, let's talk about Houston. Houston wins the Big 12 regular season title. Again, like North Texas, Houston is their defense, is their calling. They're holding teams under 60 points. LJ Cryer is their leading scorer, averaging 15 points a game. He's creation of shots, physical defensively. Kevin Sampson is a genius. He's been there for a while. The weaknesses is over-prepared and half-court offense is slow. They can't seal the deal when their back is against the wall. So if they're facing a team like Iowa State, if they're facing a team like a Texas Tech again, everybody chooses Houston to beat them. But again, Houston can't seal the deal. They always got to run into something. Texas Tech, coached by Grant McCasland. The difference between Grant McCasland at Tech and North Texas is that the physicality of the players. You see, North Texas did not have that, but they just had scoring. But Grant goes to Tech, they have both. They have scoring and physicality. They're long. They can play defense. Chance McMillan averages 15 points a game on 53% shooting. JT Toppin averages 18 and 9 and 10 a game. Oh, actually, 9 a game. He shoots 56%. He's the younger brother of Obi Toppin, and offense is really professional. Defense weaknesses is depth, foul trouble, and if they're running to an emerging team, they don't know how to seal. They don't know how to prepare for them. But I trust Grant in this situation because I think that Grant has their number. BYU, their strength is Kevin Young. Kevin Young comes from the Phoenix Suns, instills an NBA type offense, and they're shining. They got athleticism. They shoot 37% from 3-point range. They're hungry to make a difference. And Richie Saunders has averaged 16 points a game on 54% shooting. The weaknesses is drop possessions and not noticed on the big stage. Are they ready to win it all? Players may not make a name for themselves, but if they win this tournament, players make a name for themselves. And honestly, not sure about this, but they made the tournament early because of BYU. But it's not a big deal. BYU, I honestly think they can win this Big 12 tournament. I really think they can. But when you face against a team like a Tech or like a Houston, that's really what's in your way. We're not worried about your first or second round matchup. Those two teams are in your way to holding a trophy come Saturday. I honestly think that BYU can beat a Tech. But Houston, it remains to be seen. Arizona is my last one. Arizona is coached by Tommy Lloyd. Caleb Love is on a mission. I think this is second school outside of North Carolina. Depth all over, ball movement and hustle. The guys have a chip on their shoulders. You got quality guys that come from other schools that got a chip on their shoulder. The weaknesses is the moment is too much. What type of team? They're changing their teams every week. Is it this team this week? Is it a team that is resilient, or is it a team that won't show up on the big stage? And can they translate this Pac-12 basketball into the Big 12 basketball that they're showing? So that remains to be seen. But they're playing the tournament right now. My dark horses will be Iowa State. They're a sneaky team that shoots a lot of threes and their coach's motivation, but they can't finish what they started. And are they NCAA tournament ready? TCU. Now, the reason why I have the men's side on here is because I feel like TCU can be motivated by the women's success. Now, when people go to TCU, we're talking about the women's basketball. We're talking about Mark Campbell. We're talking about Haley Van Lith. We're talking about Sedona Press. We're not talking about any of their TCU men's players. We're talking about women's basketball at TCU. That's how much this season has made an impact at TCU. Now, TCU can make a name for themselves. The men's basketball. Can't you imagine Jamie Dixon missing the NCAA tournament? Can't you imagine that? Years of success, and you miss the NCAA tournament. And they're about to play this afternoon against Colorado. So we'll see if they make a move. We'll see if the postseason is in their future. Because right now, the odds maker says it's not. It's TCU women. So just like we do with the women, we're going to recap the men's side of the championships next week. And let's see if North Texas makes an impact. Let's see if Houston's number 1 seed. Let's see if Kansas can come out of the woodworks. I didn't write them down because I feel like this is not their season to shine. But we'll see. Now, we're going to take a break. Coming up next, let's talk about the WNBA. Let's talk about the Chicago Sky preview. And also, let's talk about the Stephen A. drama versus the Lakers. Well, actually, versus LeBron. So let's talk about that next. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
I need you in the morning, but I need you now. Yeah. I find you, I give you all you needing. I know I can lie. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body.
Say not me the mess up my mind, and I me the make you free up your mind. Say your body talk to me nice. Say now my love you didn't need for your life. Yeah, I love to be like. Say every day together, yeah, night. Yeah, if I leave you goodbye. Yeah, if you leave I go stroking your back, baby. Loving your body, baby. As you're whining your body, baby. So crazy. Loving your body, baby. Get me what needs to me. I just wanna let you know. Hope every day
You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. I prayed for this moment. I would be by your side. And I don't wanna forget those lonely nights. Ooh, so tell me that you gon' ride with me. Tell me that you never lie to me. I just wanna make you proud of me. Want you loving every side of me. I love the rhythm of your heartbeat. The way you pushing up on me. I can tell that you want me. Let me show you how it's gonna be. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you can hold my body. Only you can hold my body. You don't need no other body. Hey, baby, everybody's the same. No one loves you like that. No one wants you the
same way. Up till the morning, my head wants to turn from your loving. I just wanna get you beside me. Give me all you need, give me all you need, give me all you, give me all you need, give me all you need, give me all. Make I give you all you need, every touch you need, give you all. Make I give you all you need, baby. Yeah. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you can hold my body. Only you can hold my body. Yeah. You don't need no other body. Girl, I want you there. Girl, I want you there. Promise to treat you the best. Whoa. When we touch, I will connect. Whoa. Say this love, I know regret. Yeah.
Y'all know all right.
Love that on that beat.
Let's go. No masterpiece. 10 bad bitches and they after me. One bad bitch look like a masterpiece. Looking for a dunk like an athlete. Big drip, what you call it? Big drip. Ice chain, pure water. Ice. You got the cab, but can't afford them. Cash. You got the bad, but can't afford them. Give me the beat, I ride it like a jet ski. Hey. Some of the bad bitches, they harassing me. They like me cause I rap and be with the athletes. Stop asking me, I know they mad at me. Hop in the coupe, then I slide like it's Vaseline. West Coast 6, four jump like a trampoline. Take a brick out, put it on the triple beam. I'm not from Canada, but I see a lot of teams. This mantle up, I know how to handle up. Light the candle up, make you put a banner up. Toss a 50 up, make them tie the club up. Took your bitch out the game, I had to sub up. No masterpiece. 10 bad bitches and they after me. One bad bitch look like a masterpiece. Looking for a dunk like an athlete. Big drip, what you call it? Big drip. Ice chain, pure water. Ice. You got the cab, but can't afford it. Cash. You got the bad, but can't afford it.
Pick the name easy, make her open up and eat it. Stars in the ceiling in my seats, they Tempur-Pedic. I see them niggas watching and they plotting, trying to sneak me. I can't hear the thought, can't trust the thought, they telling secrets. Big back, take, look back, little nigga. Catch him down bad, that nigga cry a whole river. Knock on my back, I'm taking care of the whole village. Somebody got shot, what you talking about, Willis? In the lobby with a brick, knock your Bobby with your bitch. I go Lawrence with the fit, in the robbery with no tent. I'm from the trench, I got the dirty money rent. He was poppin', so I popped and pray to God repent.
No masterpiece. 10 bad bitches and they after me. One bad bitch look like a masterpiece. Looking for a dunk like an athlete. Big drip, what you call it? Big drip. Ice chain, pure water. Ice. You got the cab, but can't afford them. Cash. You got the bad, but can't afford them.
Take off. No limit to the money. Nah, I picked the gang up, took a flight across the country. I took the waitress, told her to keep the ones coming. Hit the store to get some back. It wasn't left or right running. Looking like they blind, but we already on it. In the left, it's a lane like a bag that you want. A lot of teams ass busting at them James like you want it. Take you wanna spend a 50, hit the same with a donut. Whole team full of queens, gotta keep their eyes on queen. Snake in the sky, probably wanna slide on them. I bet they ride on them when I put that prize on them. 10 bad bitches, okay, don't got 5 of them.
No masterpiece. 10 bad bitches and they after me. One bad bitch look like a masterpiece. Looking for a dunk like an athlete. Big drip, what you call it? Big drip. Ice chain, pure water. Ice. You got the cab, but can't afford them. Cash. You got the bad, but can't afford them. 2-step. Oh yeah. 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 Good night. You spin my head right round when you go down. You spin my head right around when you go down. Back up the house with my swagger, hopping there with
suspicious. I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, no women, no shorties, no nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on. Unlike my jewelry, that's always on. I know that the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night, cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot, cause we ballin' this Patron every hour. Mama, how you just like the flowers? Girl, you the truth with all that goody powers.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
I watch her go down. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. I watch her go down. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. Charlie must know I'm the man. My money love her like a number one fan. Don't open my mouth, let her talk to my fans, my Benjamin Franklin's. I rubber band, my fans. I'm like that's part of my rebuilding castles that's made out of. She's amazing, fire blazing, hotter than Cajun. Girl, won't you move a little closer? Time to get paid, that people belong on a poster. I'm in the days that bottom is waving at me like that, man. I know you run the show like a gun on a holster. Tell me whatever, and I'll be your chauffeur. Spin my head right round when you go down, when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. Yeah, I'm spending my money. I'm out of control. Somebody help me. She taking my bankroll. But I'm kicking the club. And I'm wearing a crown. Popping these bottles, touching these bottles, watching their asses go cold.
Welcome back to the Beyond Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. So, welcome back. Now, let's talk about the Chicago Sky, number one. Okay. They hired Tyler Marsh as the head coach. Now, he was a former assistant coach for the Aces for 3 seasons with Becky Hammond and all of them. They traded for Ariel Atkins. But let me say this about the organization at Chicago Sky. You cannot screw this up. You let James Wade walk 3 seasons ago to take the Toronto Raptors assistant coaching job. Okay. Then you hire Teresa Weatherspoon, coach, WNBA legend, knows players. Okay. Then you fire her after 1 season for what? Like, she wasn't even mentioned in the press conference. That's how much she's not cared about. There's other legends in the game that deserve praise. Remember, Lisa Leslie came on the podcast, on Angel Reese's podcast, and mentioned that she should be hired in the WNBA. To this day, I will never know why. I will never know why. But speaking of Angel Reese, Trinity Carter is dominated in Chicago, not Chicago, in China. I've seen the stats. I haven't seen her game in China, but I've seen the stats. I'm not sure why she's still a free agent out there. I don't think she's going to get signed by Chicago. If we're this late in the game, I don't think she'll get re-signed in Chicago. I think her game will be better elsewhere. Angel Reese Will she lead in 2025? The team has spent a lot of assets to get to help Angel Reese with her game. Outside shooting, a player like an Earl Atkins that can get her own. Still should probably average like 10 to 15 points a game, but that's good enough to help Angel Reese succeed. But Angel Reese is dominating in their own rival league. Now, people can go after her for her looks. People can go after her for her mouth. They go after her for everything possible. And y'all don't care about an outspoken player in the WNBA. It's always shut up and dribble the basketball. Shut up and make me a sandwich. Shut up and be black. That's what you tell Angel Reese. And I can't believe that we got fools, well, not fools, but we got people like Stephen A. But we got fools like Jason Whitlock and others that have mentioned Angel Reese's looks. Okay, your daughter is going to dress like that, whether you like it or not. Stephen A has gone on a podcast and has said, my daughters won't dress like that. Well, your daughters will dress like that, Stephen A, because that's how it is, right? That's how it is. Your daughters are going to dress like that. It doesn't matter how someone else is dressed. It matters about the personality. Angel Reese is a great human being, a great asset for the WNBA. Y'all only watch Caitlin Clark. Y'all want Angel to be like Caitlin. That's not going to happen. There's two personalities. The media does not want to talk about Angel Reese because of her antics. They're not antics, they're real. She's a human, like anybody else in the WNBA. And let me tell y'all about leadership. Angel's going to be a leader one day when she is coach on. You see, when Lisa Leslie came on her podcast, talked about, okay, I can help your game. Angel, you're young. You realize this is a legend. This is a Hall of Famer sitting right next to you. Didn't even have to come in and do an interview with you and is telling you, we can help you. I can help you. Take the help. Say yes. You're right there of becoming great. All it is just the little stuff. The haters will have a lot more to say, but it's really on them. It's really they don't watch enough WNBA basketball. They don't watch it. And we don't care for them to not watch it. Stephen A only watches Caitlin, one of the best players in the game, in Caitlin Clark. That's it. That's the only thing he watches. Everybody else as well. But they only watch Angel Reese if Angel Reese speaks out and lashes out about certain things. That's it. Angel Reese is out here minding her own business, making business moves. And by the way, I will recommend her meal at McDonald's. I can recommend it. Go get it. I hope it lasts for a lifetime. Not necessarily it'll help for the weight purposes, but I will tell you that meal's really good. So there has to be a championship in Chicago. There was one in 2021 when Candace Parker did it. There hasn't been one since. There has to be one now or in the future. And I think Tyler Marshall will make an impact for that. Number 2, Minnesota Lynx. Now the Minnesota Lynx have not made any noise. I know they re-signed Courtney Williams. The Visa College just got a $200 million, 200K check for winning the one-on-one league in the rival league. She's going to get a bunch of deals. People are going to love the Visa Collar. They're going to love her. They will love her. They will love her for the way she's impacting the game. The main message is for the Minnesota Lynx: just keep doing what you're doing. You got one of the best in the league. Again, you have shady ownership in Alex Rodriguez. I don't trust Alex Rodriguez. I don't trust A-Rod for that second. I think he's shady. I think he's a little shaky on myself. I don't think I mean, when you have that leadership, you tend not to go anywhere. And so I expect Minnesota to be there. I expect Minnesota Lynx to be relevant in the WNBA for years to come. I know they lost Katie Smith to Ohio State. I know Katie Smith is thinking bigger and better things out there. That's why she went to Ohio State. And so it is what it is. But how do you get back to the finals? You just keep the same team. You were right there. Within a few minutes. Finish the deal. And don't make excuses. Now the drama of the weekend. Stephen A versus LeBron. This is my number 3 point. Okay, so Stephen A was at the Lakers game against the Knicks on Thursday. He goes up. LeBron goes up to him and says during the game and says, "Hey, don't talk about my son. I don't care." The game stopped for a minute for that situation, which is pathetic. Don't stop the game because of that. Now, LeBron, here's where he's wrong. Do that at halftime or after the game. Because if you do that during the game, you lose your focus. And I know he's LeBron. I know he's great and all. And I love LeBron. I consider one of the GOATs. I know everyone's going to say Jordan, but LeBron is one of the GOATs. Okay? He's averaging 25 points again at 40 years old. These young cats have no say. You're protecting your son. And I get it. LeBron is as a parent. When Stephen A said what he said this summer about Bronny, I don't think it was disrespectful. I think it was real. It was real coming from a parent. I'm not a parent myself. I've seen it. I just think that when you have a legend who's dominated the game for 20 plus seasons, you expect the expectations for your son to go higher and higher and higher. You don't expect them to go down here. You want the best for that individual. Bronny, to me, is not one of the best. There's other cats out there. They're crawling. They're fighting. That have to go to the G League to make their name, to make their mark, to get on the NBA roster every season, to get a two-way contract. Overseas as well, summer basketball. There's other guys that have put the time and the effort to make an NBA roster, and they don't get that chance. Not because of this situation, because of the easy way out. Bronny has the easy way out because of LeBron. Let your son be. Let your son go. Let your son be on the road and have tens of thousands of people watching him on the road play in a road game instead of home games. You got to let your son fly a little bit. You got to let him do those things. And I understand. I get it. But let your son be his own man. You already done it for 20 plus years. Again, we're going to miss you when you're out of the league, but you've done it. Now it's his turn. I don't think Stephen A. didn't say anything wrong. I just think that LeBron cannot accept the truth. We're not saying your son sucks. We're saying that your son has to open. Your son, you got to give your son more opportunities to expand his game. We wish your son nothing but the best. Right now, your son is supposed to be playing college basketball. That's where his mark is supposed to be. Not in the NBA. Not yet, at least. Because that pressure on a 19, 20-year-old kid is only going to hurt him long term. Now, he could get out of it, but it's going to hurt him long term if he doesn't expand his wings. I'm not saying LeBron's a bad parent. I'm saying it's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt Bronny a little bit. If Bronny can't expand his wings out there. Now, I got into a little thing, not a little argument, but just a little thing about the media and black fathers, okay? LeBron is one of the best fathers in the game. So is Coach Prime. LeVar is one of the best fathers in the game, no matter what the antics are. They're not antics. They're just being real. LeVar, I just think he's being real. I think he's sticking up for his sons when he was coming out. And prayers to LeVar Ball as well. When Lonzo and LaMelo were coming up, and Langelo as well, he was their main messenger. He was their main messenger to say, you know what? I'm going to advocate for y'all. I only averaged 2 points a game in college. I expect you to beat me. That's the only thing he was doing. He was being a father. LeVar set this stage. Coach Prime followed it. And Coach Prime said, I'm going to make it spectacular. I'm going to be there for my son. He's done that. Shedeur is one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, the best quarterback in the draft. Not what Colin Cowherd says or what these Clay Travis's garbage guys say. Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft. And any team that thinks that, oh yeah, we're not going to draft that quarterback because of his personality is wrong. It's wrong. You're not going to draft the quarterback because of his personality. You're drafting the quarterback to lead your franchise, no matter how arrogant or how his personality is. He's not going to be like a Phillip Rivers or a Peyton Manning. He's going to be a Shedeur Sanders. I just get tired of these people want you to act white. They want you to act a certain way. Shedeur hasn't done anything wrong. Have we found anything in the news? Have we found anything on Shedeur? The only positive we have found is that Shedeur is one of the best. Bronny, one of the best. Shiloh, one of the best. We haven't found any negative light. Now, okay, the media wants to pinpoint and say, oh, yeah, this person's bad and all that stuff. He hasn't done anything wrong. What do y'all, not every black human being is terrible. We're different. We're different. So, in LeBron's sense, LeBron's being a father. In Coach Prime's sense, he's being a father. I'm not saying they should step away, that was one of our conversations. They were thinking they should step away. I'm saying that, yeah, you can be there, but let them take the constructive criticism that comes with it. You're in the NBA, Bronny. People are going to go after your game, whether it's negative or positive. Okay? Coach Prime. There's people out there that are going to say your quarterback's not the best. He is the best. He has the tangibles to improve on. He will improve on that. We got to let our sons or daughters face tough, constructive criticism. We can't lie to them and say, oh, yeah, hey, you're going to be great one day. Just allow them to face the criticism that comes with it. That's part of being a professional in any light. And that's what I was trying to say in my Facebook message on Saturday. I didn't really say, oh, you should step away. No, the media is telling you that. I'm telling you, stick around, but let them accept the constructive criticism that comes with it. Number 4, the Spurs. There was a lot of drama over the weekend. De'Aaron Fox's wife versus Malik Monk. The Spurs have lost 3 straight games. They lost a downer last night to the Mavericks. The Mavericks only had 7 players. Well, actually, they only had 8 players, and you're telling me you lose to a team with 8 players. Man, I almost slammed the table. I was like, man, the Spurs are soft. The Spurs suck. My team sucks. But that's not what happened. So what happened was we didn't get audio from this, but Malik Monk was in street clothes. The wife of De'Aaron Fox, they confronted each other. Malik Monk said some things when De'Aaron left the Kings. Okay. We don't know what was said. We wish we had a hot mic, but we didn't know what was said. But my thing was when Malik made those comments about De'Aaron Fox, the wife was I think this is my opinion. I think she was telling him, okay, it wasn't right. We made our decision. We made a professional decision. Now, the guy standing was a bald head. We don't know who that guy is, but if things got out of hand, then that's where the guy is there. So, but I don't, for me, De'Aaron Fox did not, well, he handled it well. He played the game. He just said, if Mike Brown left, I'm going to leave as well. What was the point? You gave Mike Brown a contract extension for the next 3 seasons, and then you fire him. But then before that, he took you to the playoffs, and you made Sacramento life again. And so De'Aaron Fox made his professional decision. Malik Monk got jealous and unfollowed De'Aaron Fox. Unfollow Malik and Domantas Sabonis on Twitter, which I disagree with that because you got to have friends for life. There's other ways to be professional. There's other ways to be unprofessional. In this case, De'Aaron Fox was being professional. I just think his wife made it known that this wasn't right. What you said, you need to make amends with De'Aaron Fox. Y'all can be lifelong buddies, man. You came from the same school. You played with each other. You're good. You made your decision. You decided to stay with the Kings. That's fine. De'Aaron's there. You're there. I'm not sure why you're in street clothes, but you're there. We move on. And then my final point of the day, number 5, Chuck versus the media. Now, Chuck said this on Thursday night. So let's play the clip of Chuck saying something, and then we'll go out.
Fool idiot on TV talking about the Lakers save the NBA.
Save the NBA?
Yeah. He's an idiot and a fool, but he know who he is. What's his name, Shaq?
Which one are you talking about?
Kendrick Perkins.
Oh.
He said the Lakers, first of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about. Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like that.
I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard.
Right.
I like that.
Hey,
one.
man.
I'm stealing that one.
The Lakers are doing great. Got a long way to go. But the reason the season's been going great for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Y'all just want to talk about the Warriors and the Lakers. They're both doing great. Don't get me wrong. If I turn out to be wrong, I got no problem with that. But y'all are idiots because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Warriors all the time. Y'all don't. The Cleveland Cavaliers have won 12 straight games. The Oklahoma City got the MVP, and they are on fire. Y'all are talking about who's in second place. That's the reason I get pissed. Hey, the Lakers are doing great. I don't mind being wrong. The Warriors are doing great. But that's because you fools on other networks, which we're going to become fools next year. We'll be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months. Y'all talking about teams that had two great weeks.
Time out. I get what you're saying. You just went at the whole network.
They talk about the whole industry.
Whole industry.
So Chuck's right. The ESPN takes the Lakers coverage to a whole new level. Okay. They talk about it in Get Up. Okay. They talk about it on First Take. They spend 20 to 25 minutes talking about Lakers coverage. Okay. And then on top of that, okay, you talk about on NBA Countdown or NBA Today, whatever that stuff is, they talk about it in full detail. They even have a Lakers reporter that talks about LeBron this and then JJ Redick this. And okay, yeah, they need a big. No. The Warriors, they had 12-2, and since they got Jimmy Butler, okay, great. OKC, the Cavs. Do you realize that people are saying the Cavaliers are better than the Celtics? But the Celtics won the championship last year. How can they be better? How can the Cavs be better than the Celtics? This is all regular season talk. The Cavaliers only get 10 minutes. The Cavaliers on NBA Today only get 5 minutes. But yet they're an NBA show on ESPN, right? They're an NBA show on ESPN. How can you talk about a team for 5 minutes if you're an NBA show? That team, that show only talks positively about the Lakers, the OKC, but yet when someone bad does something on a team, they spend more time on the bad versus the good for that player on that team. Oh, yeah. If Jason Tatum robbed a bank one day, oh, yeah. Oh, let's get ESPN Boston reporter, such and such. Oh, yeah, in OKC. If Shai Gilgeous, kills someone, oh, yeah, where's the Thunder reporter at? That's when they come out in the woodworks, right? We got to change our media coverage. You're an NBA show. You're supposed to talk about the good teams and sometimes the bad. The First Take, they don't even talk about the tournament until Audrey Carter and Seth Greenberg shows up. As long as those two show up, they're talking about the tournament on that platform. But when it comes to the NBA and the WNBA, when Shanae shows up, they talk about they talk about the WNBA. Or Andrea Carter shows up, they talk about the WNBA. Or Carolyn Peck, whoever, they talk about the WNBA on an NBA show. First Take does not do that. How does First Take spend the whole entire summer talking about the NFL and the Lakers and the NBA and not talk about the WNBA and not talk about other NBA teams? You realize that the NBA may go to OKC this summer. They're not going to LA. They're going to OKC this summer. Trust me, I'm betting on that. Some people may disagree with me, but I'm betting on that. Oh, we got to change our coverages because I'm not. Now that's it for my show today. Coming up next week, we're going to talk about the tournament in full detail. Women's, men's, you got it. My Final Four take on the women's side, my Final Four take on the men's side, and also the most excited games I want to talk about, the matchups you want to see, and also let's talk about the first four. All of next week will be talked about. We might add a little bit of NBA and the NFL free agency if there's news trickling around, if I need to make an opinion on it. So let's talk about that next week. Okay. Thank you for listening and watching this podcast. Make sure you subscribe to your podcast wherever you go. And I'll talk to y'all next week. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.